Thank you to Alex Van for starting us off this evening. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Martha from the LGBT network in Wolverhampton. And this has only been possible tonight with the help of lots of people around Wolverhampton. And I must mention Councillor Anwin Muston, who's helped make it happen. So thank you. It's really sad that something so awful as the tragedy in Orlando has brought us together this evening. It's shocking. It sent a shockwave through not just the LGBT community, but through the world, I believe. We've got a number of people that have come along to say a few words tonight. So, first of all, I'd like to introduce the Deputy Mayor, Councillor Elias Matu.
Good evening, all. Your Excellency, the Bishop of Wolverhampton, Members of Parliament, Pat McFadden, Emma Reynolds, Rob Maris, and community leaders, and the LGBT community. What happened last Sunday, as Martha said, it shocked the whole world, and not just the LGBT community. The attack at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, USA, was a terrible, terrible event that actually happened. We can't believe that these things are happening in the world today when we are supposed to be civilized. Sometimes I think that civilization is going backwards because of some people in our community who are in the world who are bent on destroying peace and harmony in the world. So many innocent lives were tragically lost from the hands of one madman who was probably radicalized and brainwashed by some evil ideology. An ideology that is bent on destroying peace in the world today. The only way we can defeat these evil forces is by standing together in solidarity and unity. We can fight this evil, but we can only do it if we stand together. It doesn't matter what race or color we are. It doesn't matter what religion we belong to. It doesn't matter which country we belong to. This is a fight. It's a global fight, and we have to find a global solution to fighting this evil. My prayers and thoughts are with all those who have been injured in this terrible, tragic event. And also, my heartfelt condolences go out to all the families who have lost their loved ones. I wish a speedy recovery to all those who have been injured, and also some peace and comfort to those grieving families. My message to the LGBT community in Wolverhampton is this: you are not alone. We shall stand with you, shoulder to shoulder. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Elias Matu. And now I'd like to introduce you to Reverend Jenny Evans of St Gregory's, Wensfield and Oxley, the Epiphany Church, who's going to say a little bit now, and then she's going to do the names and the 2-minute silence later too. So, Jenny Evans.
Thank you. As Martha said, in a little while we're going to read out the names. But the list, when I know that my saying of their names is not going to be great, but that list says much more, because each one of those those names is a special person, and their loss is a scar across this planet. They were people who loved and were loved. Extreme violence to LGBT people, queer folk, often comes at the end of several small little steps that start right at the beginning with people just dismissing. And the church, I have to say, has often failed the LGBT community. And I want to say there are many of us in the church who repent of that. We say no more. We want to work for full acceptance. No, for affirmation. Because we believe that humanity in all its richness was made in the image of God. And through that, we know more of God. Carol Ann Duffy, who is not known for being a Christian, has written a poem today. And I just want to finish with this for the moment. This writer is gay, and the priest in the old love of his church kneeling to pray. The farmer is gay, baling the gold hay out in the fields, and the teacher cycling to school each day. The politician is gay, though he fears to say, knotting his tongue, his tie. And the doctor is gay, taking your human pulse in her calm way. The scientist is gay, folding the origami of DNA. And the judge in his grey wig is gay. The actress is gay, spotlight in the smash hit play. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. Our children are gay, and God is gay. Thank you.
That was lovely. Thank you, Jenny. We put a call out to everybody if anybody wanted to say anything, sing, do a poem, whatever anybody wanted. And I'm really glad to welcome Rachel Arnold, who's going to read us a few poems. Rachel, thank you.
Wales 20 years ago and 10 years later was written after travelling in India. I feel like being a mountain in these times of changing skies. The mountain stays the same, no matter what the colour shines. The shape does not shift through all the browns of the year. The contours are distinct when the world is unclear. I feel like being a temple in these asylum-seeking times. The faces remain the same, whatever the religious guise. The lines are constant when love stops and starts. The roof guards the soul and is made of many parts. A whole temple, a whole body, to be kept clean. The purpose of open harmony, to worship unseen.
Thank you, Rachel. That was lovely. And now we have Al that would like to say a few words. Please give him a warm welcome.
Good evening, everyone. I wish I could start this by saying that this was the first vigil of this nature that I've ever been to. Unfortunately, it's not. I've been to many services like these, and it's ultimately because vigils of remembrance and mourning are not rare in the LGBT community. They occur often, far too often. This vigil is being held in memory of the people who lost their lives this week in Orlando. They were ordinary people. They were LGBT people. They were being themselves in one of the few safe spaces that are known to us. And they were all murdered in that space for being themselves, for being LGBT, by someone fueled by hatred and confusion and intense prejudice. And now we remember these names because they're important. Their names now form part of our wait for freedom and justice and acceptance, affirmation. We're waiting because that's what a vigil is, that's what it means. We wait and we watch in darkness for light to come. As an LGBT person, this means that I wait for a time when these vigils of remembrance and mourning are a thing of the past, and when these acts of violence are unheard of and unthinkable. I wait for a time of justice for these LGBT people who suffered and died simply for living as they were created to live, and for their families. I'm waiting for peace for the millions across the world who have been affected by this tragedy.
was really nice, wasn't it, from Al? And now I'd like to invite MP Rob Maris, who is going to say a few words for us. Thank you.
Good evening, sisters and brothers and others. It's a sad time to be with you. And the message I have is to remember the history. I'm just about old enough to remember what happened 47 years ago on the 28th of June 1969, when gay men in New York said enough is enough. And they rioted, those gay men who'd been drinking at the Stonewall Inn in New York. They rioted to stand up for their rights. And I remember living on the west coast of North America in the 70s, when we had in Florida, in Dade County, the most progressive ordinance there had been to date. 1977 banned discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation. And the right wing mobilized, and they overturned that ordinance within 6 months, and it wasn't restored for 21 years. And I remember one of my heroes, Harvey Milk, the mayor of San Francisco, being murdered because he's gay. Murdered because he's gay, the mayor of San Francisco even, by a man who was acquitted on the basis that he'd eaten a lot of chocolate bars. I kid you not. You have to remember the history. And I remember the struggles we had in this country on Clause 28. And the struggles we had for an equalized age of consent for sexual relations amongst men. And the struggles we had for civil partnership. The struggles we had to implement all of the British Stonewall Manifesto of 1997. It was implemented. It's not just a question of waiting. It's a question of struggling. The equality that we've moved towards, and there is still a long way to go, but the equality we have moved towards for the LGBT communities came about not because of waiting, but because of struggling. Civil struggle and political struggle. Please don't forget the history, and please keep on struggling, because sadly, there's a long way to go, as the events of Orlando show us.
It's a difficult place to be emotionally here tonight. And it's not an easy place to be as a public representative of the church for reasons Jenny's indicated. We have much to repent of in terms of our attitude and treatment of LGBT people. However, it's an easy place to be tonight as a follower of Jesus Christ, who never uttered a word against people of any orientation, but was just fully inclusive and embracing of all, and who preached a gospel of love and acceptance. And the challenge for those of us in the church is to help the church to become a more faithful representation of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's a challenge that I think is in even sharper focus as a result of the events in Orlando. But the challenge that I and others who call ourselves Christians face is no different really to the challenge that all of us face, whether within our religious community, within the organizations that we belong to, our workplaces, our neighborhoods. The challenge is the same for all of us, really, to just help one another understand one another better, and just help to incarnate the values of freedom, equality, tolerance in our daily lives and in our contexts. I believe, and I'm speaking partly out of an awareness of Jo Cox's brutal murder, and some of us were at the vigil for her in this very place earlier on tonight. I believe that there's no more urgent and vital cause, no more important claim on our time and energy than honouring the victims of hate crime, but also doing everything in our power to fight the wicked ideologies that give its perpetrators succour. And it seems to me that this is the war that we need to fight in our generation. And we have to draw strength from our shared humanity and a shared commitment to those principles of freedom, equality, and justice. In standing alongside the LGBT victims of Orlando tonight, we honour them, and in doing so, we also honour those principles for which we must all strive to fight with every sinew in our bodies and with all the strength that we've been given. Thank you.
Thank you. I was absolutely devastated when I heard the news of the tragedy in Orlando. All too often, the LGBTQ community has suffered, has been oppressed, and it's not right. There's no way anyone who has any shred of moral integrity can justify that. And our organization, when I was asked to be the co-director of the Association of British Muslims just over 5 years ago, and my colleague, we drew up 10 principles. We thought it was very important to make clear what our organization stood for. And in that, we deliberately included recognition of the human rights, the universal human rights of everyone, including their sexuality. And everyone who signs on to our team has to either acknowledge those principles or they're not welcome in our organization as long as they hold views which are bigoted. So there are people in our faith community who are there. We're supporting you. We're standing shoulder to shoulder with people within the LGBT community.
Thank you. I'd like to introduce Dr. Sandhu Singh, who is the former chair of the Wolverhampton Council of Sikh Gurdwaras.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, tonight we've gathered here because of this incident in Orlando. Earlier this week, a tragedy occurred where 50 people, innocent civilians, lost their lives. This service shows that there's compassion and love for the victims of this hateful act and the support we have for the American people. So many young people died, so many people looking forward to the future. The worldwide community was shaken by this evil act. But we must look at this horrible event and aim to take something away from it, and in the process, make the world a better place. We must aim to eradicate this hatred that fueled this attack and combat it with love and compassion. Our condolences on behalf of the Sikh community of Wolverhampton goes to all the relatives who lost their loved ones. And we pray for a speedy recovery of the injured people. Thank you.
Again, thank you. And I'd like to invite Britain's first trans out councillor, Councillor Anwyn Muston.
Thank you very much and good evening to you all, and thank you all for coming. It's nice to see such a big turnout. What happened in Orlando was horrific, and it was aimed at a specific group who, not for their own fault or their own, were born differently in the same way as we are people of colour. It's no fault of our own. My heart goes out to the grieving families and friends who I am sure will not forget this moment in time for the rest of their lives. They will be scarred. I also think of those wounded and those who survived this tragic ordeal in Orlando, who will, I am sure, be scarred for life with the memories of what happened in the early hours of Sunday morning just gone. This act of mass homicide targeted against the LGBT community by one individual is tragic. Oh yes, we can say America's gun laws are outdated and that the president is powerless to do anything about it because of the Third Amendment, the right to bear arms, and the actions of the gun lobby to prevent guns being taken off the streets of America, making it safe. Unfortunately, that one gunman is not the only one we need to talk about. What about the 76 or so countries that outlaw sexual orientation around the world? 10 of which countries who impose the death penalty. We even have one who is still allowed to stay in the British Commonwealth.
Thank you. I'm shortly going to hand over to Reverend Jenny and Beverly Momon Abadi, who's from the Wolverhampton Pioneer Ministries. But before I do, is there anybody else that would like to come up and say anything, or do you want to? No? Oh, you'd cry. I think I've done really well introducing everybody. Is anybody at all that would like to say anything? You are more than welcome to come up. No, I'll pass you over to Jenny and Beverly.
Yes, it was a bit difficult this morning for someone whose job is supposed to be able to find words. Before I sat down, I had a good couple of hours to write this morning, but I watched the videos of the full list of the lives of these people from Orlando, and I do invite you to do it, whether it's the army major, the nurse, the mother, the son, and they are astonishing stories. And then I cried, and then I couldn't find hardly anything to say. And sometimes vigiling and standing in silence is what we do. So today, whether you are a person of faith or none, I say to you, know that you are beautiful, that you have value. Remember those who have been hurt or killed because of their identity, and commit yourself to work for justice and love. So in remembrance of those LGBT folk in the Pulse nightclub who were brutally targeted and murdered, we're going to read the names and then hold a 2-minute silence.
Alejandro Barrios Martinez, Anthony Luis Lorian de Silla, Stanley Almodovar III, Angel L. Candelario Padro, Corey James Connell, Jean C. Neves Rodriguez, Kimberly Morris, Leroy Valentin Fernandez, Christopher Andrew Leanonen, Simon Adrian Carrillo Fernandez, Brenda Lee Marcus McCool, Juan Chavez Martinez, Geraldo A. Ortiz Jimenez, Edward Sotomayor Jr., Xavier Emmanuel Serrano Rosado, Enrique L. Rios, Shane Evan Tomlinson, Darrell Roman Burt II, Christopher Joseph Sanfeliz, Jean Carlos Mendez Perez, Gerald Arthur Wright, Martin Benitez Torres, Luis Daniel Conde, Juan P. Rivera Velasquez, Luis Omar Acacio Capo, Louise S. Vielma, Tevin Eugene Crosby, Dionka Diadra Drayton, Eric Ivan Ortiz Rivera, Peter O. Gonzalez Cruz, Paul Terrell Henry, Eddie Jamal Roy Justice, Gibraltar Ramon Silva Menendez, Amanda Alver, Frank Hernandez, Frankie Jimmy De Jesus Velasquez, Xavier George Reyes, Antonio Davin Brown, Oscar A. Aracena Montero, Rodolfo Ayea, Jason Benjamin Josephat, Jonathan Antonio Camivega, Yilmary Rodriguez Solvina, Louise Daniel Wilson Leon, Joel Rayon Paraguay, Jean Ramon Guerrero, Acri Monet Murray, Miguel Angel Honorato, Mercedes Marisol Flores.
Lost everything to you. Say you want to start something new, and it's breaking my heart you're leaving. Baby, I'm grieving, but if you want to leave, take good care. Hope you find a lot of nice things to wear. Just remember there's a lot of bad underwear. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile, girl. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. And I'll always remember you as a child, girl. You know I've seen a lot of what the world can do, and it's breaking my heart in two. You know I never want to see you sad, girl. Don't be a bad girl. But if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you got a lot of nice things to wear. Then a lot of bad things turn bad out there. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile, girl. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. And I'll always remember you like a child, girl. La 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 la. Baby, I love you, but if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you make a little nice friends out there. Just remember there's a lot of bad underwear. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile, girl. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. And I'll always remember you like a child, girl. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile, girl. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. child girl. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nowhere you can go that can't be done. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. You see, thank you. There's nothing you can do that can't be made. There's no one you can save that can't be saved. There's nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. You see, all together now. All you need is love. All you need is love. Sing it to me. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. There's nothing you can sing that can't be sung. There's nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. You see, all you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. There's nothing you can know that isn't known. There's nothing you can see that isn't shown. There's nothing you can see, nowhere to be. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Nice and loud now. All you need is love. Sing it to me now. All you need is love. Love is all we need. All we need is love. Love. Love is all you need. Love is all you need. Love is all.